So now we're getting into copper. So the next series of the time machines, which is these right here, is going to be based around the concept of solar, actually. But the construction is going to be 3 parts, 1 part copper, 1 part battery, and 1 part solar panel. So, and so now getting into the copper, I'm really getting and this is a big deal. This is a big deal. So the copper acts as a transporter for the thermal energy once here. You see, that's the interesting thing. Well, not exactly. Though it could act as a thermal transporter, because that's the one thing about copper. It's a great conductor and what is it? What's the heat version of conductor? I can't remember right now. But anyway, best conductor, exactly. So I'm really excited. And of course, I told you that in my hypothesis, copper atoms, insulator, not insulator though. What's the opposite of insulator? Is it conductor for electricity and heat? I thought there was a different convection. No, not convection. Oh, okay. Well, okay. So it's a great heat conductor and it's a great electricity conductor. But also in my hypothesis, okay, yeah. In my hypothesis, atoms are the 4th dimension. And so every element is just a different atom. So copper is, and each different element is a different timeline. Wow. My first cut of copper. Very fascinating. Very fascinating. And so each atom is a direction in the 4th dimension. So by analyzing, how did it get that black mark on it? It's cheap copper alloy. No, I'm joking. I'm sure it's an alloy, but it's very, very, very pliable too for a metal. I can just look at it and imagine all the free electrons just buzzing around. It's quite awesome. Hypothetically speaking, I can travel back in time. First things first, I'm going to go ahead and make a first of a kind augmentation. See, once I get into the workshop, the ideas just start flowing. That's the interestingness of a time machine. Interesting. I want to do actually a slight modification. Actually, think some of these effects are also coming from the teleporter. I'm not exactly sure even yet what teleportation is, but I have a feeling there may be more to it than we are thinking. But the concept I left off with yesterday is that a teleporter may be a product generator. Let's go ahead and no, it's just about what scale of, because one thing about humans is when we're imagining large high level technologies, one thing that we often do is we become super simplistic, right? Even to ship a package in the US, I don't know what it's like with you, there's dozens of different options. Dozens of different options. Dozens of different companies that offer it, each one slightly doing it their own way. um, and all this stuff. But when we think of, wow, this is amazing, you guys. The first copper enhanced time machine chip. I can't even imagine the potentials. Ooh, let's go ahead and close this loop and see if we find ourselves in an even more dynamic situation. So anyway, we get super simplistic. We say things like teleporter, time machine, right? But you have to imagine if these technologies exist the same way our other technologies on them exist, there would be infinite variables of optionality. You might have a different teleporter for different scales of objects, you know. Very cool. And then even different types of objects. Maybe you have one teleporter that just works on things that don't have water on them. I don't know, in them or something like that. Dry things. One for wet things. One for electronics. I wonder if that's actually touching. The chip has undergone some damage, but that's actually the point of the paper series. It's easy confirmation to time, essentially. Allows you to get massive amounts of data very quickly. Very interesting. So that first augmentation gave us some ideas. I did have a little bit of an idea on how I could use it on the model, but it's kind of contingent on this fitting through here. Oh! Okay. Well, it seems as though it's demanding an opportunity to shine. I will not withhold it. Said opportunity. Let's go ahead and get to work, ladies and gentlemen. Actually, I will be right back. This requires precision. Alrighty, let's get to work here, ladies and gentlemen. Woo! No, any pushback I take as confirmation that I'm moving in the right direction. Because, first of all, there's lots of people out there with stupid ideas. But most times they're entirely ignored. Most times. So, must be something. Oh! No, dastardly. Dastardly. The gloves have the added benefit of disguising my race so that if anyone doesn't like black people. Oh no. Tried to grab the bead and it fully absconded. They won't even know. Just joshing you. Well, actually. Very cool, very cool. I was just joking, you guys. But anyway, this is going to be quite fascinating. Wow. I really didn't, I really did not think that there should be any reason why this would fit. Look at that. This, I credit the time machine a little bit, to be honest with you. This might actually even fit more easily because I don't have to thread it. This might The only thing that kind of makes this a little tricky is what would be, well, one, it's too pliable, so it's going to deform irregularly, and there's going to be no easy way to shift it back. Okay, see, this one doesn't want to fit, but he seems to, okay, eventually succumb. I'm deforming it just in the process. I'm sure they make a device for this. I'm literally combobulating right now. This is literal combobulation. Literal combobulation. I was live with you guys last night. I missed the 9 Club. But it's cool. Now, this changes things. Indeed it does. Indeed it does. This one does not want to enter. There we go. Nice. Gotta give it a shot, though. Gotta give it a shot. There's a lot of things working against it, but again, you know, we're in the time machine. And we've been letting it encode, so let's collect the data. Oh, come on. There we go. We're at 5 cores thus far. I think I should start getting a studio light so I can really hone in on some of this stuff. It's making me start to think of, I need to look up again what the next step on the time machine is, because I think I've been progressing too slow through the time machines. And it's like, does it make sense to, thank you so much, Paolo. Does it make sense to try to work hard or improve your time machine abilities? I mean, of course, both, but what if by simply improving the time machines, I can drastically improve the rate of successful experiments? Okay. I don't really know how you could get stuck. It doesn't really make sense, but we're getting data. We are getting data, ladies and gentlemen. Alright, I think that's fine. I was going to cut it, but don't really need to. Not on that side, anyway. Alright. Also, I'm not really sure what the full-scale model version of this gauge of wire would be. So, but this is already a massive advancement for the hoverboard. The data being collected here is literally a different timeline. So part of my hypothesis is saying just by bringing in such a dynamic, and copper is really fighting for most dynamic elements. I mean, I guess every element is super dynamic, but copper is definitely up there. No wasted data. See, even the data I'm getting on working with the model working with the metal, the copper, is invaluable. Every little action is vastly improving overall synchronicity. Let's just give that a little turn. Whoa, 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 ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and freaking gentlemen, if that isn't the steeziest steezeroni I've ever steezed, let me just test that out right now. Whoa, we're getting instant action. I'm telling you. Get out of here. Get out of here, bros. I had never had that in my plans. Never had that on the board. Bro, it's already almost done. You know me, I have no choice. I've got to test it with the mediums. But what are we doing here? Do we just instantly solve it? And let me tell you guys, I keep myself pretty look at this upgraded time machine boson. Just supercharging the entire unit. Just sitting there, supercharging the entire unit, hyper encoding the solution. This is bonkers. I'm actually gonna have to go to sleep early because I'm not gonna let this knock me out. But anyway, I try to keep myself pretty objective when it comes to science. But I had been wondering, how I was gonna solve this core array thing. That's why you got to get on with the hoverheads. Bro said, "Get in the lab." I said, "You know what? Let's go." Not as steezy as I would like, but pretty steezy run. Let me see. Let me go ahead and... This isn't the time to play it safe. I need maximum. Wow. Wow. Hey, Paolo, thank you so much for the what are those? Roasted corns. Wow. Okay, let's get the slime out of here though, because it's not letting our wax do its job, which I think we've gone so far that we might even be out of slime relevance territory. Wow, that's crispy. I only have one too, so I need a whole nother set. Only problem is, I did not think far enough ahead. Thank you, bro, for the 67ers. I did not think far enough ahead to get another set. But I should have... Where's the other core? If I can find the other 7D core array. Can't be that far away. Our station isn't even big enough for it to have found its way too far. Huh. Sure, I could watch the video back and see where I put it, because I did record the whole thing. Maybe it's in here? Nope. It's not in the teleporter. Teleportation core here, just chilling. I'll just put him in the sender. I think I found it. Nope. Okay. Oh, yes. Here we are. Saturated in teleportation medium. Topological teleportation field. best technique, but we're moving and we're grooving. This will enable us to test two. Alright, let's get ourselves an extra piece of copper. Reroute the tritium fuel array. Bro, it's going down. I really need to look into copper because I'm imagining there's all types of properties of copper. Just what number is copper? Does anyone know? No. Copper would just be one. Copper is literally a timeline. So my hypothesis, there's literally as many timelines in every atomic temporal field as there are elements on the periodic table. So the copper timeline, just by having the copper in the time machine, because it's 4D encoded, it's literally as if we were slightly steering the entire time machine in a slightly different direction, right? So the paper series, everything else in here, as far as the time machine components, are either materials that we procured, for one reason or the other, or the time machines are the clear series, paper series, tree series. So now adding in some, technically this wire isn't really part of the time machine just yet, but still. This is the 4D hoverboard, absolutely yes. Is the data linear? That's a really interesting question. That is a really, really interesting question. My first instinct is to say no to that. That's my first instinct. Just because, it would more be like kind of tesseract-y. Hyper tesseract-y. Wow. Kayla, thank you so much for the heart me. Wow. Check that bro out. We already know what's going to happen here, ladies and gentlemen. Let's be honest. I'm pushing maximum pressure on it. Now, this is pretty gangster. Am I right? You said, when did we upgrade? You guys, we took the other version to the max of its timeline. But now, I'm telling you, I was telling you guys about the copper. People think I'm playing around. Some stuff I don't have time to fully explain because I'm not a physics professor. You know what I mean? I'm an inventor. At the end of the day, scientist is just one part that goes into the invention. We got to move at speed. So I have to follow my research 30 times faster than a scientist would. Test first, explain later. Even analyze later in some circumstances. But this right here is giving good results. Great results. Oh yeah, the equilibrium is definitely a bit off. Definitely a bit off. Again, this is a scaled down model, first try assembly, without even really having a plan to do it. I'm going to be honest with you, except for the fact that I had done it before with the other materials. But And I'm not even getting any spin. Imagine if we had bearings on each one of those. And they actually are spinning a little bit. I wonder if it's the wax that's helping them get some spin. They're getting a little bit of spin actually, funnily enough. Bearings would be astronomical. And the copper might even be hinting at the potential for we could even have, I mean, this is basically suspension because it's made of foam, the core around it. So, wow. You guys, I mean, this is, did I crack one? Oh my gosh. I think I cracked one. Yo. That's wild. You know what? And that's perfect if I did. Yep. Wow. Sheared one in half. Well, not in half, but a chip off of one. That is prime pure data, ladies and gentlemen. Wow, 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 wow. And what's fascinating about this is my hypothesis with the cores, relating, cores to the seventh dimension and also relating fission to the seventh dimension, which means these are at the perfect level to test core rupture, which means we know exactly that we've hit basically the correct spectrum of force. Absolutely fantastic. Absolutely the right segment in the spectrum of force, I should say. Absolutely fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. You guys, I can't really explain it any simpler than that. So, can't really break it down any further than that, to be honest with you. The fission force, I can say this, I mean, is the rupture point of centralization. Whoa, thank you for the heart mustache. It didn't have anywhere to go, so it just kind of glitched out, but I appreciate it. I freaking appreciate it. Wow. That's interesting. So this one is damaged. And what's cool about that too is it shouldn't make too much of a difference. Now, this is cool. This is actually amazing. But it is also sort of missing to me something. The rigidity, I'm still not sure about having, so the copper wire right now is actually the qubit lattice, ladies and gentlemen. The copper wire would now be the stand-in for the qubit lattice. Only thing that I'm not sure about is if a linear qubit lattice could possibly be effective. We're going back to 1D instead of 3D. Maybe it needs 3 rows. Well, I mean, it literally only, I don't know the actual number of rows, but I mean, this model only has 2 ridges, so it kind of perfectly worked out. This back end has 1, 2, 3 ridges, so I would need 3 more of these to test a full board. But I actually do. Liam, what is up, my G? How's it going? I do want to figure out how to. I think the 3D core. I think the 3D core is optimal. It's absolutely necessary for the full board. So there's no way I could do it, except for to create some sort of more complex lattice structure. This one dang near should be for sale, but it's not yet. But I don't know if I have time to really even put models up right now. But I mean, I try to make it easy for myself, so we'll see what happens. Wow. Let's just want to test the copper, just encode that a little bit more. Might have to do another time machine upgrade. Definitely do a little core upgrade. Core, teleportation core, copper upgrade. Let's see what effects that has immediately. Okay, so I'm considering methods right now for going three-dimensional on this. I cannot, as of yet, conceive of anything. Though, I mean, let's go ahead and do. Sometimes thinking with your hands is preferable to thinking with your mind. That's one thing. I'm giving you straight data on just what I've learned. Take it or leave it. We don't have to share information out here. Everyone can do as they please. When are you making a real hoverboard model and not a little one? Should be pretty soon. I really wonder what I'm going to use for the wire. I guess I could just use a super heavy gauge wire. I don't know what the heaviest gauge of copper wire is. Though, copper's not that light. So I might want to use bearings and some type of aluminum cable or something. Copper wire, a galvanized nail, damp soil, and a multimeter. Add to the time machine. It'll be pure data. I don't have a galvanized nail. Honestly, I probably would have done it if I had it. I never deny pure data. I really don't think anyone can technically make anything up. I kind of have a theory that everything is technically adjacent. When it's confusing, it just requires decoding, which is probably a little bit egotistical, but I presume what I presume. I can't find, these cores are so popular, I can't find a single free core to even test with. I know that can't be possible. There are so many different sizes of cores. This just seems to be my own lack of organization. Turn around. I'm also going to be working on an invention that really focuses on the cleaning abilities of slime. Because I think, of course, you've seen it all over the place, those computer cleaners and the like, but I just realized slime is the ultimate auto cleaner tool. When will you use beta radiation? What's beta radiation? Is that just electrons? I mean, if that's true, we're kind of getting pretty close. Where's the gaseous platinum? Bro, when we start mixing platinum in, good. I found one more core, which is all I really needed to access a third dimensional concept and test something. Let's see. Oh no, do not disappear. Hopefully we'll be able to get something done here. So I'm wondering, what's the true potential here with the copper? When it comes to 3 dimensions. Interesting. That's undesirable. Just testing the materials really at this point. Just wanted to see what I could do with the copper, because I'm kind of trying to think of a sort of three-dimensional concept with the core array. Okay, just seen a downside of doing that. Makes it very difficult to liberate the cores when the wires all bent up. Sorry. Anywho, testing 3D copper core. Oh, that's AI summary. I was like, someone's perfectly summarizing up what I'm up to. This is gangster. Is this currently current? Yes, this is currently current. Sorry, guys. I know sometimes I don't talk quiet. Guys, quit hating this genius. This is genius in the making. Yeah, I mean, really? Anyone who's hating, I just know 100% that I'd rather you be hating here than hating on yourself, you know. So, oh no, I got a hole in the glove. Hole in the gloves, they give me, it's like a pet peeve of mine. I prefer just to have no glove than a glove with a hole in it. Anytime I see someone and they have a hole in their glove, I'm just like, come on, get it together, my guy. What do you even, what is this pseudo glovery? Can I see how the hoverboard works? You haven't seen it yet? I'll give you a couple quick demos, Liam. Boom, boom, boom. We're getting good lift. But, I mean, it's pretty awesome. It is really pretty awesome, to be honest with you, what we're doing right now. But I kind of want a 3D version. Is that too much to ask? I think it is, to be honest. Best I could do is, I don't know, have like multiple of these. Okay. That's enough of that. I'm really liking copper, though. I'm really liking copper. Just a little bit of work that I've done with it. One thing for sure, I'm going to assign this box my copper scraps box from now on, because this stuff is too valuable to be lost just because it enters into a non-congruent form. Boop. Did you use the copper as propulsion for the board? Not as propulsion right now. It's purely structural, which falls in line with my concept of the 10th dimensional board being a more solid state. So it's not bad. This is actually really good. I think I have to just accept success and not demand more. Thank you guys, by the way, for 18,000 likes. That is borderline absurd, and I appreciate it. Also, for the what happened to it? The time machine boson. Whoa. I'm not gonna tell you what I think happened, because then, okay, it's right there. It's right there. Whew, whew, whew. Just let him linger back there. Do you have to let it linger? More scraps. All scraps have to be. This will just be the scrap storage box. Because you might reuse it, you know. But if not, one day I will build a crucible. Or purchase, I should say. But anyway, I'll build a small forge. You have extra copper? You can definitely donate copper to me. I might just sell it, but it's all going to a good cause. But if you have some copper sheets, that could really help out. You should put the copper around the board as a temporary reference point. Yeah, that's kind of what's going on. Though I don't mind the copper. I don't mind. I just need to know more about copper strength. It's not bad that a metal can break, right? You know, sometimes a machine breaking is its last attempt to save you. So, you know, if it gets caught on something and, you know, maybe it does need to snap rather than drag you. I don't know how much force you need to snap copper. Use tin instead of copper. I bet copper's looking at you right now and he's like, dude, why would you even say that? At least use brass. At least. And you watching, bro, make some stuff. That's what I'm saying, you know, I mean, it's clearly dope. That's a foregone conclusion. The question is, what's going to happen next? Brass to dang, I didn't think of that. Silly me, that's funny. You will need a force to push in order to ride it, so the force will come from the person riding. Yeah. You still gotta, I'm demonstrating it for some reason. You still gotta push yourself. Though, that's why we need to reduce, you know, friction. These contact points are really the main innovation that I'm going at for the hoverboard. This piece right here, and it's been the one since the beginning. This right here, first and foremost. This right here, second. It's all about this being able to translate altitude differences, you know. There's another part concerning the wheels. And I just kind of got in that today. Maybe we can actually do some iteration here. Because the problem with skateboard wheels is, you know, what happens when you go into grass? What happens when you go into, let's say, 3-inch mud, right? These are also model skateboard wheels, which suits the fact that we are still in the modeling phase. So we'd have to somehow solve, and I'm only moving on because I'm actually so pleased with this. I'm so pleased with this portion, you know. I really am. But it makes me think about the issues with the wheel itself. And there might be some testing. Already the copper is allowing for a level of resiliency in testing that has never happened before. And it's not even encoded into the time machine fully. It is with the time machine boson, but can't wait to let that data process overnight. Oh, wow. Can you show a representation of the skateboard's lunar complex? Whoa, what would that mean? I think you have to centralize the zapulator, okay, before you change anything. I don't know why I couldn't say that. I mean, wheels are they're just 4 pressure points. We can even look at this highly scaled down model of a skateboard here. These 4 pressure points where you're putting everything. The hoverboard blanket will be able to stop the wheels from becoming reverse entrenched. Well, anyway, sort of. But when it comes to just general writing, I really don't know what to say. Gunnar, why are you screaming at people? Who told you it was okay to yell at your fellow human beings? Because they were wrong. Anyway, let's go ahead and bust out our 3D time machine. I'll just go with what works. I'm going to go ahead and encode some data. See what we get out of it. I was tempted to throw a teleportation core in there, but what I want to do with the teleportation core really fast is to upgrade it with some copper and just see if we get any immediate testing improvements, or I get any ideas from it. This is really the beginning of a grand era, guys. Once I'm able to source more significant copper quantities in the specifications that I need, because I found stuff. It's just not exactly what I'm going for. What's the argument in here? I'm intrigued. When do you think we'll move on to the 14th dimensional hoverboard prototype? I don't think that's going to happen. That's not going to happen. Though, due to some people in the chat, I have had some ideas on the 14th dimension. Though I don't know what to do with it. So, I'm thinking right now that the force of the 14th dimension is the periodicity force. And what does the periodicity force do? I'm not entirely sure, but it somehow is involved with the concept of periods, eras, themselves. Also might, in a very shallow way, contribute to what we consider the full concept of a periodical. And let me tell you why this is interesting as well, because I just connected these dots, and this is why, I don't know, it's just, you just got to think about stuff enough to get some sort of epiphany sometimes, I think. Anyway, the 13th dimension, I've told you that it's not just products, because the products, I think, are the 5th dimension, but it's packaged. I'm in the 8th dimension, sorry, products are the 8th dimension. But it's packaged product. I know this is a sort of metaphysical way of explaining some of my scientific hypothesi, but I don't know if hypothesize is a word. But anyway, let's continue. 8th dimension is products. Can you know what are quantum capabilities for the 17th? I don't know. 17th, 3/4, I don't know. But, so 8th dimension is products. 13th dimension is packaged products. Why 5th dimension? You know what's funny also? If you go to gas stations, what do they use? Because for anyone who knows, who's been here before, what do they use to pack it to tell you that there's no gas right now? What do they put on the gas tanks? Who can tell me? An idea. Anybody out there? The galactic relativity sensors, sign, sometimes a sign, yeah. SO cord, what is that? Fuel? A bag. They'll reuse these plastic bags, this material, and they'll wrap them around. Why? Because they're relatively ubiquitous at this point in time. But anyway, they'll put them on the little hoses. But also, I don't think it's coincidence. Shame me if I'm over drawing, if I'm drawing too many analyses. But I also, for those who don't know, have been talking about why I consider this the 5th dimension for the last few days. And also it's a petroleum based product. So I think it's just a little bit ironic that they just go to a lower form of petroleum to say that they don't have any petroleum. But anyway, what was I going to say? So when you package a product, when you take a product, but then you package it, which is why I've been packaging my teleportation device entry products. But anyway, you get to the 13th dimension. Now, a periodical. What is a periodical? If you think about it, one form of a periodical is a newspaper. What is a newspaper? It's a stream of products, right? Every time you go up a dimension, packaged products, by the way, every time you go up a dimension, you get the infinity of the previous dimension, right? Space. What is space? It's a series of planes. That's harder to conceive of. But what is time? Time is a series of space. Fourth dimension to, what is a line? It's a series of dots, right? Anyway, if you're following along, you're following along. But I've upgraded the teleporter slightly. Teleportation core. Let's just put that in there too. Put that in there. Let that encode for a little bit. Anyway, I understand. I wouldn't be following either, because that's why I don't teach very well. I just discuss. Is there, like Socrates, no, I'm just joking. Is there always quantum fluctuations directed at your time machine, and what type of energy used? Of course, that's why, one of the reasons why the time machine is so helpful. A lot of people have to stay in highly coherent spaces and make highly coherent actions to those coherent spaces, because the decoherence force, quantum force, is pressing in so heavy on them, creating a vacuum energy that is almost insurmountable. I think it's one of the reasons why people fear doing new things around other people, is because they're actually understanding a very real pressure field that you have to put in, because it's not that difficult to become what other people would call incoherent. And but it's also not as dangerous as you would think, but I assume it feels something akin to walking off of a cliff, though. It's really not. But anyway, but the time machine coheres everything I'm doing. So even if it's off, it's gonna slip it back in, because it only has a temporal address. It has no quantum address. I relate on every dimension except the 6th. What if you used something else apart from tape, as it can stop the quantum energy from passing through? You mean for the time machine portion? I was thinking about, because if you look at, oh no, these are all the same. But this joint right here on the clear series used to be made with this tape right here. I switched it to clear tape, which I don't remember what kind of tape it is, but because I was like, well, if it's going to be clear, it should stay clear, you know what I mean? And I was thinking about switching the tape on these ones to the clear tape, but I don't know if I really want to do that. I think it makes more sense, though. I probably will end up doing it, to be honest. I've just been resisting for no reason. Have you ever, which will actually have some interesting effects. Oh, man. Some very interesting effects. Well, I think it's time to call it a night, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sorry to think he's making this stuff up. I'm literally making it all up. 200 views, bro. Oh, yeah. I appreciate each and every one of you guys, the 20K likes. I even appreciate TikTok for setting up such a cool platform where you can do this kind of thing. Does the lattice not shift within alternate realities? Surely this would damage it. No. No, I wouldn't think so. Mostly because I don't think there are different realities. Bro says, what? This isn't real? I mean, it's definitely real. But he said, did I make it up? I did make up the stuff. I mean, some stuff I didn't make up, obviously. I didn't make up time. But as far as my other hypothesi, I did make them up myself. All right. Oh, one thing I did want to try is, well, it's not enough material. I did want to try encoding a packaged hoverboard. Though, I mean, I have to be honest, I understand people's skepticism because scientific advantage is probably the most intriguing of all advantages. So it really heightens our attention. And it is the equalizer. Because you can say that you know what you're talking about, but if your science isn't as good, you will lose. And I think that's fair, all the time. So until I make a hoverboard, does it count as losing? I kind of think so. There's a little bit of winning because at least the documentary of it is somewhat popular. No one can take that away. But the question is, for me, always, it's more important. Can I make a hoverboard? It really is essential that I make a hoverboard. One idea just snapped in my mind. A little time machine right there. Boom. So, you can pretend and create pseudosciences all you want. But at some point, people are going to realize, hey, this guy said he could fly, but he's not flying. That's why it's good to not say that you can fly if you can't fly. Which I've said from the beginning, where we're not trying to float. I'm allowing myself to test liberally because it doesn't really matter. This is a completely new material. Wow. Imagine if this is how the hoverboard arrives. Teleportation core. It's not upgraded. Whoa. Whoa. Might be something going on with the teleportation core. Anyway. A machine. Okay. Grab yourself a highly symbolic encoding. I didn't really get any ideas, except sort of. I'm sort of kind of getting an idea. There's one component that I'm really thinking about that kind of I forget about, but that I think about. I want some type of propulsion efficiency. I do want there to be a fuel consumption progress, and yet I almost want that fuel to be solid state. Okay. Just have to test the hypothesis. And this is the most coherent I'll probably ever be from hypothesis to testing. My current hypothesis, as loose as it is that Um, Petroleum is the fifth dimension, maybe, and solid state petroleum plastics provide some sort of unknown, 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 propulsion ability. And the solid state version might encode that somehow structurally or in relation to itself. And one thing I'm already picking up that affirms the hypothesis is some of the almost superfluidity principles I'm getting on the reduction of friction as we stack. So I might be onto something. It might be more of something like this, and then, oh, wait a second. I'm having a super huge epiphany, bros. Super huge epiphany. Check this out. Okay. Go ahead and clip this because it's wasting our time. I just kind of cracked it, my G's. The hover. I cracked one type of hover. Imagine if you just had something that looked a lot like this, right? Hold on, just stashing the extra copper. Now I'm having fun stashing the copper like I'm some sort of dwarf, but it's like, ooh, I'm saving up for a rainy day. Copper pieces. Anyway. No, not a dork, a dwarf. Imagine a hoverboard like this, where you have these petroleum sheets underneath. But imagine them maybe 400 times thinner, right? Almost having the appearance, and this might be where aerogel comes in, really having the appearance of aerogel, and it's covering all of the underboard. If that was moving at sufficient speed, that would create lift without needing constant, vertical propulsion in the form of drift, and it would look a lot like a hoverboard. Well, anyway, I thought you guys would get it, but at the same time, I could easily see how that doesn't make any sense. How do I know this? I mean, you can just imagine it. I'm imagining it right now. Dang, thank you so much for the roses. So you're correct. I mean, am I not right? Just imagine it. Imagine the super hyper thin plastic sheets. Imagine, let's say you stack up 1,000,000 of them because they're super hyper thin, and then that's the hypothesis. The question is, can we successfully test it? And that's what I'm going to attempt tonight, ladies and gentlemen, on the Hoverboard documentary. Anyway, let's go. Dip into my copper stash over here. I'm really liking having a copper stash. Makes me feel elegant. Go ahead, wrap that down. Boom. This is actually a massive breakthrough for me. I've just been testing these bags so long in various forms. It's really fuel redesigned, petroleum redesigned, because petroleum is still a very awesome resource. I think we just have to realize that it is structurally rare. What I mean by that is it's sufficiently hard to get that it doesn't support hyper casual use. But plastic can be recycled. Alright, let's test this right now. Whoa! Hypothesis confirmed. Hypothesis absolutely confirmed. You see, bros. It's a shame that I. Oh my gosh! Petroleum is just solid fuel, you guys. Even rub two pieces of plastic together. The friction reduces, and it seems like that's stackable. It's stackable. The question is, what is this going to really look like on the finished board? You know, but this is solid state, fifth dimensional hover. I'm telling you, fifth dimensional hover. Honestly, solid state. Because guess what? The plastic. Only other problem, though, we can't use petroleum. Because we'll be shredding microplastics into the ground everywhere we go. Dang it. Dang it. But we figured it out. Now all we have to do is discover an organic fifth dimensional equivalent, which algae, we might be coming for you. Algae. This is amazing. Bamboo, I would love it if bamboo worked. That would actually make a lot of sense that bamboo might work. But I don't know if I can get it thin enough. Dane, geez, thank you for the rose bear. My gosh, sir. Wow, that's freaking amazing. All these discoveries simply just from bringing copper into the testing. Tea tree oil. That's interesting. The back isn't even freaking. This is fully a hoverboard, ladies and gentlemen. This is the fullest crude, albeit model. Basically, we discovered that petroleum acts as a complete fuel, regardless of being in this solid state of the plastic bags. And then the friction is so reduced between individual plastic layers, it becomes a propellant. This is the reason why this is so important, is because this is what's going to keep the rider from having to push in individual instances as he's going over stuff. It's gonna stand in the way of all the slime, because I'm actually beyond slime testing at this point. Well, never say beyond slime testing, but this is fantastic. Wow. This is amazing. This is giving me such a boost. And now imagine, because this is obviously colored. Actually, I don't know if this is a preferred color for the petroleum. But if we're able to use something like algae, and we can do really thin sheets, has to be super strong sheets, and they're highly transparent, that is what's going to ultimately lend itself to the full hover look and feel that we're going for. And then, yeah, I think the whole undercarriage is going to end up being highly reflective gold. And then you'll have the petroleum sheets. Well, let me not be too ambitious. Oh, wow. I'm just telling you, I love it in every instance. If you haven't seen, oh, jeez, kind of pulled it off. It's actually not even hard to put back on. the upgraded qubit lattice, 70 core array qubit lattice in full effect. And we're sailing. And we're sailing straight to the freaking moon. Wow. This one doesn't even, it's not even equipped. It's not even equipped. I have to get 3 more, enough supplies for 3 more core arrays. I want to try to get, let me see if I can, that's not going to work. Let me try to get a different angle, but the one thing I can do, we can bring the time machine store in as a platform. The versatility of time machine space is what changes your actions from 4th dimensional to 3-dimensional. Because you could do 3-dimensional science all day if you have the time. If you have the time. But if you don't, I'd highly suggest 4-dimensional science. There we go. Now we can more or less see what's going on. The only thing is I'd like to have the front covered as well. You know what? Just for fun, we're gonna put these pearls on the top. See if that gives us any ideas. And it just happens to be the only wire that I have around. The resiliency of the copper is really allowing me to test certain concepts. Wow. That's almost perfect. The only thing it is going to need, supporting some of these grooves, I think there's going to be small slime-filled packets just for a little bit of suspension. And that's going to give you the give. Unless, of course, the cores end up getting made. Oh, jeez. Oh, how could I have been so blind? That's why it was good that I encoded these skateboard wheels. I just figured out, obviously, it's polyurethane. I have to do my research on polyurethane. But it might be not coincidental that that's what they use for skateboard wheels. It might have a dissipated core effect. I have to go do some research on polyurethane wheels. Actually, just the category of polyurethane and see what compound that really is. Excellent, you guys. We are fully here. An more elegant model probably needs to be made, but I'm going to have to source also the necessary plastic sheets. Wow, that is just, I mean, come on. Even without trying. Barely even trying. Well, you need to try a little bit of force, a little bit of rider weight, of course. Let me see if I can. See, it still is lacking some natural lift component that I would like. I would like it to be able to do some of the work even on approaching. Let's see if we can see directly into that angle. Let's see what's not vibing. So it is hitting, of course, here first. Okay, well, that's actually a pretty easy fix. Not to mention I have copper wire jutting over it, so we won't judge ourselves too much for that. I mean, of course, we can always do some 4th dimensional testing. Put ourselves just a leg ahead. I said I was past the slime, but it appears Sometimes you have to, oh yeah, come on. Okay, check this out. Oh, get out of here for now. Look at that. No pushing up force. I can only push down when I'm pushing down in the center like that. Check that out. That inherent lift. Whoa. Whoa. We're out of here. We're out of here. So once I tweak the specifications, you don't need this, because it's already in the geometry, or else it wouldn't have happened. Okay? It's already in the geometry. Now we just have to release the accuracy of the geometry, because we didn't have that, which is why we use the slime as a stand-in fourth dimensional material. But once we get the accurate calibration, already at that, because I knew it was there. I wanted to test. I'm the most skeptical. People think they're skeptical. I'm the most. Before you even tried to be skeptical, I was skeptical 10 times. 10 times. And that's just a basic result of having Nigerian parents. You've already considered everything. You've already considered everything at least 70 times before you bring it up. You've already considered it because they've already approached you with a whole campaign. Nigerian parents are like, they're like politicians. Really good. And so all the different types of parents are like different types of politicians. They all have their own style. But they're smarter than you. And they have more money than you. And they're gonna run some information ops. But anyway, what am I doing? We just cracked really the dynamics of the hoverboard model. I wouldn't say we really cracked the model because, that's a little bit just too loose. But the dynamics are hard baked in. You can steal the ideas, my friend. That would be faster for me because at this point, people would just be like, "Hey, you got that from the hoverboard guy," and I wouldn't have had to do any work. I could just relax and collect your company. But anyway, but I wouldn't do that. We can vibe. Yes, it's time for rest, you guys. This was incredible, amazing. You guys have been amazing tonight. Really, quite honestly. 30K likes, and then all the different ideas, even pushing me to get into the station. Oh yeah, we'll be back again tomorrow. Pushing me to get into the station where I've really had the best testing of probably, I can't even say. The testing has been so good lately, but just had some great testing. Let's see, we've moved fully into incorporating the copper direction of time travel into our inventions. And it's going to have, I'm not even using any of its conductive properties yet, except for maybe the thermal conductivity a little bit. In places where stress is placed on it, it might be whisking away some heat, which would be a semi-added benefit though. I don't know how direct. But it also gets into some work I wanted to do with the hover suit. The hover suit might have significant quantities of copper in it as well, because I want it to be self-cooling as well as self-heating. The hover suit. And I think there will be hover cores that may be attached variously on the board that supply various quantities such as heat, cool, suspension, moisture, a couple things like that. No way, no way, no way. But yeah, I'm shaking at the thought of it. Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be. I'm excited for the suit as well. So I'm gonna start with some items, articles made by existing brands, and I'm just gonna augment them. Same way I'm doing with the skateboard because I'm not gonna get into making shoes from scratch. Um, it's just it's a whole science, and you got to know where you stand in science. But thank you guys so much. 31K likes now at this point. Freaking 11 random gifters. Liam even dropped in. Liam was my OG broski, and he was the first member on here. I'm trying to figure out what I would do for the members. How would I make content that's significantly better? But then, why would I only share that with the members? That doesn't really make sense. I don't know what is members only content even supposed to be. Does the government fund this? No. This funds the government, if anything. Well, no, I'm just joking. But I mean, kind of. To the extent that it's an export product, I suppose. This is progress. Yes, it was a great, wonderful night. I'm excited to go sleep on it. And then I have some research to do. There was one thing I said I was going to research that I'm forgetting. What was it? Oh, polyurethane. 6 years on the hoverboard. So I'm going to get into that. Thank you guys again. Hope you have a blessed night. Continue to be kind to your friends. And take it easy. Take care of yourself. Have fun. Yeah. Just be chill. Stay chill and stay blessed.